welcome back. It's been a long time. We took a few weeks off, had a lot going on, but we are here today, and I want to thank each and every one of you for your patience, for your messages on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, text messages and phone calls saying, hey, where's the Game Changer? Game Changer's here. We're back again. And we are going to talk today about something that is near and dear to my heart, to my family's heart, and I am honored and blessed to have a special guest with us today. So without further ado, I would love to introduce all of you out there who are viewing to Terri Janison. Terri, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Our pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. We really appreciate it. Terri is the CEO of Grant to Gift Autism Foundation here locally in Las Vegas, serving the greater state of Nevada. And today we're going to talk about something that is very close to our family. As a lot of you know, who are close to us, our 4.5-year-old son Hezekiah is autistic. And it's been an experience and a journey for us along the way. Some of you know that journey personally, and for some of you that don't know everything, we can fill you in on all that later. But I would say probably back in December, towards the beginning of December, I had the pleasure and the fortune of being able to meet Terri at an event that we had that we were both at. And we just struck up a conversation, and one thing led to another, and we realized we had a lot in common. And that there was a lot of incredible things that Grant to Gift was doing for the community. So I wanted to take the time to make sure that we had her on the show so that we could introduce all of you out there who just are not aware of some of these amazing resources that are available to people who are on the spectrum, and also for those who have always asked me, how do we help? How do we help you, your family, families, other individuals who are on the spectrum and affected by autism make a difference? And this is definitely a way that you can help an organization and us make a difference here locally in the community and across the state. So Terri, thanks for taking the time.
Are you kidding? Absolutely. I'm excited because I have to tell you, I'm trying to stay focused because of all the conversations we've had.
Right.
I just want to stay focused on and get to your point. So because it's really been a pleasure to get to know you.
Well, thank you. Same here. Same here. So if you don't mind, if you just want to let the audience know a little bit about Grant to Give, about the organization, when it was founded, who it was founded by, why it was founded, which is an incredible story in itself, and some of the great things that you guys do for individuals and families here in Nevada.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, I'm very blessed because I've only been in my position 6 months. I've been in Las Vegas for 24 years, but I came to Grant to Gift about 6 months ago. Grant to Gift Autism Foundation was founded by Linda Taché. She was a single mother of a child with autism, and she could not find the resources that she needed. She couldn't find the support that she needed to really understand how to deal with what she was dealing with. As you said, you've had so many experiences, and so you can imagine what it might be like if you are single and having to do this on your own. So Linda Taché founded this organization for her son. His name was Grant. Thus, the Grant a Gift was the name of the foundation, is the name of the foundation, and it was founded 9 years ago. So I'm very excited to be able to announce, too, that for about the last year and a half, Linda and Dr. Barbara Atkinson from the UNLV School of Medicine and Mr. Gary Ackerman all got together. They've all been living in the world of autism in some form or fashion. And so they got together to say, how can we be more effective in what each one of us are doing and in the advocacy work that we are trying to do? So in June of 16, the UNLV School of Medicine and the Grant to Gift Autism Foundation opened up the first full-service wraparound clinic for children living with autism and their families. And so it's the UNLV Medicine Ackerman Autism Center.
It's amazing. It's a beautiful facility. Why don't you tell people where you're located and some of the resources that you have available for people to have access to?
Absolutely. So we're located at 630 South Rancho, and the Autism Center is in the front of the building, and then the Grant to Gift offices are right behind it. So we are really collaborative, working well together every day over there. And my gosh, the services. It can start all the way from diagnosis as early as 6 months. And what all of the doctors have found that the earlier that you diagnose, the more effective a child can be, and earlier on. So if you can get an early diagnosis and then begin the treatments, then the success of that child, especially in school and then graduating and getting into the workplace, it just happens a lot quicker. So it can start with early diagnosis, and then all the way through there's a BUDS program, which is to help like with specific therapies, and or then they do group therapies with other children that are dealing with autism, and really learning how to do like the socialization. getting ready to go and enter into preschool and or into kindergarten. And so they've got the BUDS program, and then some children may need a little bit more as they age because the range of the spectrum. You may find a child that is nonverbal, and then all the way up to those that are very high functioning and with Asperger's and just brilliant and being able to do all kinds of things. So it's really just trying to get everybody that is dealing with it together and learning how to work within society and just be able to live every day.
Right. Our favorite doctor, Dr. Julie Beasley, who is near and dear to our family, is also a member of the team there, and it's just a remarkable facility. So when we come back in just a couple of minutes, we're going to give you some statistics and some information about some of the terms that you've heard Terri use, some of the terms you've heard me use out and about before in the community, and get you in the know of some things that you just might not know. So we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. So, Terri, what I'd love to do is I'd love to share some statistics with the audience. So, those who are not familiar with autism or not as familiar with autism and what that really means and what some of the statistics are, I think this would be a good opportunity for them to learn. And we can certainly talk about the local impact and some of the statistics that we have here locally in Las Vegas and in Nevada. And then I would love for you to share some of the resources, especially some of the stuff that Dr. Beasley is working on. That's available to people who are living on the spectrum. So let's talk about 1 in 68 and what that means.
Okay, so the current statistics are that 1 in every 68 children underneath the age of 8 have been diagnosed somewhere on the spectrum. And the other thing is 4 out of 5 of them are boys. So that was really enlightening for me when I heard that as well. When I've gotten into this job, what I found is it's not surprising, only because when you start to talk to people about what you do, they say, oh, I even know somebody or someone in my family. And so those numbers are true. And I think they're also changing, because a couple of years ago, it was 1 in 225. And then people say, well, why is this being diagnosed so much more now, and how are you figuring that out? But I think what's happened is with the research that's being done with the schools of medicine and like a Dr. Beasley, and who've just dedicated their lives to this, I think that they're able to identify earlier on.
Absolutely.
And with more information and with more accuracy. And again, that spectrum is so wide, so it's not just one thing that you diagnose. And so I think that the ability to be able to diagnose what it means to be on the spectrum has just increased. And so that's why you see those numbers coming down. People have had autism for forever and ever. They just probably didn't know what to call it at the time.
Oh, sure. And it's a great point, and I think awareness is really what it is all about, right? I think, even 4 years ago when my family started this journey, even then, little information was known versus what we know today. It's definitely become greater than where we were even 4 years ago. And so I think the awareness piece plays a big part of that too, because people are now in the know and have become more knowledgeable really about what autism is. It's not looked at as it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. When you kind of go back in the annals of time, people had no idea that people were even autistic. They charted it up to a lot of different things and a lot of bad things that led people down wrong paths and affected them even more severely than what they were currently experiencing living on the spectrum. So I think awareness is a big part of that. That's a really good point.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't know if you experienced or not, but what I've heard from parents specifically is that before you knew what it was, and if you don't have autism anywhere in your life, you don't understand what it means, and you might be out at a restaurant, you might be out at a grocery store, and then a child is maybe just acting up and just can't control. People say, what's wrong with that child, or what's wrong with that parent, why can't they control it? So that's part of what Grant a Gift wants to do also, is just to be able to create more awareness of what it means, what does it look like to live on the spectrum, what do families have to deal with, and so that there might be a little bit more compassion for those that have to deal with it, and that we can support as opposed to judge.
Absolutely.
And so we're working on that as well.
So let's talk locally about some of the statistics that we have here locally.
So one of the things that we're doing with the Grant to Gift Autism Foundation and the UNLV School of Medicine Center is we've got a community advisory board that is talking about what is it that we need to do, how can we be most impactful. So we have the Clark County School District at the table, and you've got the UNLV, the Autism Center at the table, and other areas from UNLV that are there, and FEET and ATAP and all of those that are in the world, just to have the discussion. And what we're finding with those discussions is that there needs to be more acknowledgement of resources that are available. Because many of the phone calls that we get in at the center and at the foundation specifically are, I've just been diagnosed, what do I do now, where do I go? So one of the things that's really, really important is for us to create this resource guide and ensure that when someone does call, you're able to help them get to the next step, because everybody's needs are going to be different. So we're really working on making sure that there's a resource guide out there and be able to get it to the individuals when they need it, and keep it updated.
Right.
Because there's things that might not be here now, or things that are here now and they go away. So that is our understanding, that is going to be very critical, is to keep that updated. And that's being led by Dr. Beasley and her staff over at the center, to be able to try to pull that information in. So that's one of the resources that's happening. But in regards to statistics, what we're finding is Clark County School District specifically has told us, we're working with their autism department. They have currently identified a little bit over 8,000 children that they're dealing with. But the problem that we're having as even at Clark County and then as a state as a whole is that how do we really understand how many children and how many families are dealing with it? So that's just Clark County School District. You've got children that are homeschooled. You've got those that have not entered school at all yet. You've got those that are out of school. So how do you truly capture the scope of those that are living on the spectrum with autism and be able to support those needs? Because as I said, it can be diagnosis all the way up to those that we're trying to get employed and get jobs in the community. So we're really trying to focus in on what those statistics are, because we don't have a hard number just yet.
Well, and resources are vitally important. You know, some of you might have experiences just as we have in our family, but when you start making phone calls, trying to find help, you often hear there's a wait. And the wait can be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, sometimes even longer. And then you don't know where to go. You don't know where else to turn. You don't know who else is available to be able to help. You don't know what those further extended resources are. So I think it's vitally important that people have access to that, so they do know. You know, hey, if you hit a wall here, here's the next place to go. You know, here's step B and step C, and we're here to help and support you along the way, and make sure that you do find the resources that you need and that you do have access to the support that you need as well.
Yeah, and I appreciate you bringing that up, because for your audience, I want people to understand, if you call right now, there's a wait list at the Ackerman Autism Center. But we have a navigator that's on staff at the Grant to Gift Autism Foundation. So if for some reason you call and that you have to get on the waiting list, that you will be sent over to Grant to Gift, and then you'll be connected to our navigator, and then they can help you find whatever resources that you might need. So our partner is UNLV School of Medicine, but it's not that we just stop there and say, well, if we can't help you, then there's nothing we can do. We will make sure that we can try to get you to whatever other resources, because almost everybody else that's doing work in the autism arena has a wait list. But that's what I also love about the partnership with the UNLV School of Medicine. So you've got your first class that's in there right now. There's been identified a lack of docs and therapists that are trained in this area. So now that conversation can be had, and it's going to take a few years, obviously, but if we can continue to create that pipeline of the need to support the families that we serve here, that is a long-term goal.
And it's an important one too. All the families that Karen and I have talked to over the years often feel that the one thing they just don't really have is somebody who listens. They don't really have somebody who is there to support them. And that support isn't, we're going to help you find a doctor. We're going to help you find a therapist, be it Early Denver or ABA. And these are all acronyms that some of you won't understand, and that's okay. That's another show.
And I'm not sure that I can give those acronyms right now early in my tenure either, so.
And that's not really what they're looking for. They're looking for those people who understand. They're looking for those people who listen. And they're looking for those people who aren't afraid to say, you know what, I don't know, but let's find out. And let's find out together and see what we can do to help in that situation. And that's one of the things I love about what you guys do over there, because you certainly are willing to say, you know what, we're going to do this together. I don't know right now, but let's find out.
Thank you.
And let's make sure that, we do put you on the right path and we get you the right help. And we're going to be here to support you along the way.
We've got a great staff at Grant to Gift.
You do. You really do. So you guys have something really amazing coming up.
We do.
Right?
We do.
So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about what that really amazing event is and how you can be a part of it. We'll see you in just a minute. All right, we're back. Thanks for coming back with us. So you guys have something really exciting that's happening here in just a little bit under a month that we are thrilled to be a part of as well. So why don't you tell everybody about what's going to take place in April?
So April is Autism Awareness Month, and it kicks off on April 2nd, which is Monday. But our event is our 9th annual Race for Hope, 5K walk and run. It's going to be April 28th at Town Square, and we are expecting about 2,000 individuals, about 300 runners. So you don't have to be a runner, but you can, because it's going to be timed. We'll have awards.
We're not runners.
That's right. Yep. So we have a lot of walkers that come too. So you can bring the strollers. It's really a family event, and it's it's our second largest fundraiser for the year. So we're very excited about it. It's fun. We've got entertainment, but what's really great about it is we've got a family resource fair connected to it. No cost to come down and participate in the resource fair. There's a slight fee if you want to participate in the walk. Get a t-shirt and a swag bag and all those really fun things. But the resource fair is going to be great. We've got booths of companies coming in that can, as we were talking about earlier, share information about what's available out there for families and their children. And then we've also got some others coming in for just a little bit more fun, like the ice cones or those kinds of things. So it's just going to be a fun family event. April 28th, 7 o'clock in the morning, Town Square.
It is a lot of fun. It was great last year. We had a fantastic time. So if they want to volunteer and be a part of the event, how can they volunteer?
So if you go to granttogiftfoundation.org, all the information is on there. You can go to the events and click on there. So there's other events that you can also volunteer for, but for that race specifically, there are volunteer opportunities. You can also bring a team together, but all that information is going to be on granttogiftfoundation.org on our website.
Perfect. So we have a team. Karen and myself have a team that will be walking that day with our son. So we will have that information posted for you on the video directly below, so you'll be able to access both websites. And if you want to volunteer and come out and have a good time, this is definitely a great place to do it. We had such a wonderful time last year, met a lot of incredible people, got to meet a lot of really amazing families who have some pretty incredible stories to share. And this is an opportunity to really help drive change and impact in the community. Something that a lot of people I know really have a soft spot in their heart for and just maybe don't know how to do that. And here's a way to be able to do it. So I encourage all of you to come down and join us on April 28th. It's going to be a fantastic time. Yes, it's early in the morning, but it's early in the morning for a great reason. And I promise you won't even realize that you've gotten up that early once you start walking around Town Square, which is always fun.
And join his team, because you can win an award for having the largest team as well. So it's going to be fun.
So we'll post our link below, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes. All right, and we're back, and as some of you know, we have a segment that we do at the end of the show, Terry, that used to be called Changing the Game, but we're changing that up a little bit today, and we are renaming it Calling an Audible.
All right.
So I am going to fire at you some questions that you have no idea what they are.
Bring it on.
And just, whatever comes off the top of your head, just blurt out. There are no right or wrong answers.
All right.
And it's just an opportunity to have some fun.
Can I choose to say no answer?
You can,
All right.
if you would like.
All right.
You can choose to say no answer. Absolutely. All right, here we go. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hamburgers or hot dogs?
Veggie burger.
Veggie burger. All right, veggie burger. I love it. What's the last book you read?
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Which one?
The last one. Yes, 7.
Are you a Harry Potter fan?
I am.
Yeah?
My daughter read all of those when she was in elementary school, and I went right along with her. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
What are you watching right now on Netflix?
You know what, on Netflix, goodness. I don't really go on Netflix a whole lot, but I watch The Good Doctor.
The Good Doctor.
I do.
Love that show.
I love that show.
We didn't watch last week, so don't bring it.
All right. But that's an inspiration for our work at Grant a Gift.
It is, absolutely. It's a fantastic show. If you haven't seen it, I strongly encourage you to check it out. You can find it on Hulu, The Good Doctor. It's on ABC. I think Wednesday nights or
Monday.
Monday nights, thank you. Monday nights. Check it out for sure. Okay.
All right.
Golden Knights fan?
Oh, absolutely. Go Knights, go.
So, Knights or Coyotes?
It's Coyote.
Arizona.
Oh, Knights. Absolutely. We're going Saturday, so we'll be there.
Right? It'll be a fantastic game. Where do you like to go on vacation?
You know what? We like to go anywhere where there's a beach.
On the beach.
We do.
Yeah.
And we like to try to do it in the winter when it's cold here, and that's when we try to take our vacations in the wintertime to a beach.
Anywhere that's got sand.
Yes.
What's your favorite destination?
You know what? I think so far we were fortunate to go to Maui, and I really enjoyed Maui. It was beautiful.
It is. It really is nice there.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So if you could talk to any famous person in the world, who would that be?
You know what? It's funny. I wasn't prepared for that, but I have an answer for it. It's
Okay.
Abraham Lincoln. He truly is one of my favorite presidents, and I just love what he did to try to bring the community together. And so I'd like to think that that's what I try to do as well, and so it's Abraham Lincoln.
I love it. That's actually one of my favorite movies.
Okay.
Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis did a
Yes.
phenomenal job. That whole movie was just tremendous. It's a great cast, and they really captured the story and the historical aspect of the piece. It was phenomenal. Good answer. I love it.
Okay,
I love
good.
it. Last question. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
What are you listening to in your car right now?
KNPR.
KNPR.
Right.
What's your favorite?
You know, I like country music, but I really do try to listen to that, just so that as you're driving in the car, and because you're in the car so much, you can really understand what's going on in the world. And there is a lot of positives, there's a lot of heartache, but it really just allows you to understand what's happening. And then if there's a way to try to make a difference, then I think that's incumbent upon all of us to try to do what we can for it. So it's KNPR.
Amen to that. I agree. Terri, how can people contact the foundation?
If you go to granttogiftfoundation.org, it's the simplest way. There's ways to find about resources, donate, volunteer. It's all right there on our website.
Fantastic. Now, you're going to be back, hopefully within the next couple of months, with another friend of ours named Marcel to talk about something that we are working on now. So we look forward to having you back on the show. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you. It's my
I really
pleasure.
appreciate
And
it.
thanks for everything that you do.
Well, my pleasure as well. And we'll see you on the 28th.
Sounds good.
Town
Come
Square.
out walk.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Listen, we'll be back again really, really soon. We won't have a hiatus, I promise you. And go live a life of prosperity. Go be a game changer. We'll talk to you soon.